The final part of The Monocled Mutineer can be seen at 9:05 next Sunday. And the book, by William Ellison and John Fairley, is now available from bookshops.
The Monday film First Blood stars Sylvester Stallone as Rambo, the Vietnam veteran who comes into violent conflict with an American small-town sheriff.
We don't want guys like you in this town. Drifters. First thing you know, we got a whole bunch of guys like you in this town.
They keep moving, and my dogs can eat and run at the same time. Straight to the top.
I didn't come here to rescue Rambo from you. I came here to rescue you from him. I'm just amazed that he allowed any of your posse to live.
Is that right?
Strictly speaking, he slipped up. You're lucky to be breathing.
Are you telling me that 200 men against your boy is a no-win situation for us?
You send that many, don't forget one thing.
What?
A good supply of body bags.
First Blood, the Monday film, tomorrow at 10:10 on BBC One.
BBC Two is about to begin a major season of films new to television as the Great American Picture Show gets underway with an Oscar-winning performance by Robert Duvall as the down-and-out alcoholic country singer in Tender Mercies. In 15 minutes on BBC One, David Lomax explores the problems caused by alcohol abuse in Heart of the Matter after the news now from Jan Leeming.
Earthquake in Greece, 17 dead, hundreds injured and some still trapped in the rubble. The SDP agreed to look for a European nuclear deterrent. The IRA kill an extreme Ulster loyalist in his home. And Prince Charles with the Gurkhas to celebrate their 100th birthday. At least 17 people have been killed and over 300 injured by an earthquake in Greece. Tonight, rescue teams are still trying to reach people trapped in the rubble of their homes. A baby girl, 10 days old, has been found alive after 22 hours buried in the ruins. Late last night, the earthquake struck the town of Kalamata and 4 villages nearby. The Greek government have declared a state of emergency in the area. From Kalamata, Paul Reynolds sends this report.
Many buildings have been damaged. A few collapsed altogether. There's a great deal of rubble on pavements, and 1 or 2 side streets are still blocked by fallen masonry. The most poignant scene, and that of the greatest devastation, is a collapsed block of flats. Its 6 stories are lying just right on top of each other. Most people have not ventured back indoors. Some will spend the night in tents the Greek army has erected in parks and open spaces around the town. Some have put beds onto the pavement and under trees. For the most part, this has been a day of recovery. Family groups have been sitting quietly together. Many people have simply left town. Police reinforcements have been sent in, but there is no breakdown of law at all. Shops with smashed windows lie open, but remain unlooted. The people of Kalamata are reacting with great dignity to their tragedy.
Another bomb has gone off in the centre of Paris, and tonight 1 of the policemen injured in the explosion has died. 2 other people were seriously injured. The bomb had been left in a crowded restaurant. It's the 3rd bomb explosion in Paris in a week, and it went off just before the French Prime Minister was scheduled to announce several new anti-terrorist measures.
The bomb, which was of the same type as those used in other recent attacks here, was hidden in a bouquet of flowers which had been left underneath a table in a restaurant crowded with several hundred young people just off the Champs-Élysées. It was spotted by a waitress who immediately called the police. They just had time to carry it downstairs to the car park when it exploded. 2 policemen and a waiter who was with them were taken to hospital in a coma with severe head injuries, and 1 of the policemen has now died. The Middle Eastern group responsible for the current bombings is seeking the release of a Lebanese terrorist leader, George Ibrahim Abdullah, who's serving a 4-year prison sentence here. But the government reiterated tonight that it would not interfere with the decision of the courts. Later, the Prime Minister, Jacques Chirac, in a broadcast planned before this latest attack, announced new anti-terrorist measures in response to the wave of bombings, including compulsory entry visas for all foreigners coming to France, except citizens of the European Community and Switzerland.
The SDP and Liberal leaders say they're hopeful the two parties can reach a common policy on defence, the biggest issue that divides them. They've had differences on how and even whether to replace Polaris missiles when they become obsolete. Today, the SDP conference in Harrogate stood by its support for a nuclear deterrent, and Social Democrats hope the Liberal Assembly next week will agree to explore collaborating with the French on a European nuclear deterrent.
SDP delegates were undeterred by anti-nuclear demonstrators claiming increased opposition to Britain's nuclear weapons. Most Social Democrats favour replacing Polaris, and they like Dr. Owen's strong preference for an Anglo-European formula. They agreed nuclear weapons had an overwhelming advantage.
We believe that nuclear weapons do deter. We believe that they have contributed profoundly to maintaining the peace for over 40 years. And we believe, being an internationalist party and a multilateralist party, that it is entirely sensible for us to aim for a more enlightened European policy and cooperation on defence.
But there was some criticism of Dr. Owen's defence stance, too much of having to follow my leader.
Much as we admire and support David Owen as our leader, he does not always speak for all of us, just as we would wish to be spoken for.
Some concerned too that an inflexible SDP approach would produce a hostile Liberal reaction.
The last thing we want is the two alliance partners returning to the trenches. The Liberals are our friends and partners. They are not our rivals. There is no need to treat them in the way the alliance might negotiate a coalition with Labour or the